Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another matchup from the Raidcall Dota 2 League Season 3. This is a match between Liquid and Alliance. I'm sure you are all very well acquainted with these two teams by now. Alliance definitely probably the top Western team right now, although Navi making a spectacular showing in China in the performance in the Alienware Cup, which of course you can find on Beyond the Summit. Meanwhile, Team Liquid, they've started to get their boot camp rolling. Right when this game was played, which I think was around 2 days ago, I think Korok had some flight problems, so KZZ is going to be standing in, but Liquid is going to be boot camping in Las Vegas for quite a while. I think for around 5 weeks before TI3 does eventually come around. So we'll see if they can shape up their performance. They definitely have been struggling recently, and I'm not too sure if Alliance is really the best team to test your metal against. But keep in mind they are not playing with their full roster in this game, so I don't imagine they're going to try anything too crazy. Yeah, Alliance definitely have a lot on their plate as they are going to have to participate in the Star Ladder Land Finals, and I think they actually skipped the Raidcall EMS Cup this summer, although Fnatic is going because, I mean, obviously Alliance probably want a boot camp before going to TI3. So these teams starting to get ready for TI3 mode, and this is really a chance to show their mettle, try to find things you can improve on, but also to try to get a lot of momentum because right now it's anybody's game. I mean, teams like Navi and Alliance have really shown themselves capable to matching up well against the top teams in the East. So I mean, yeah, Alliance and Navi are the cream of the crop as so far as the West goes, but I mean, is Liquid and Dignitas and VP so far behind that they can't catch up and really make a name for themselves? I don't think so. So I really think it's very important that both teams look to try to get as much momentum as possible, try to get a high group stage placing so they can have an easier seed in the bracket, and overall just, experiment with a little bit of something new with the first couple weeks and then try to find some set in stone strategies. So both teams gonna look to do that as Liquid gonna secure themselves a Barometer with their opening choice. Barometer is the one hero in Dota 2 has been picked and banned in 100% of the competitive games that have shown up recently, since Wisp is not really as trendy in the East. And Barometer, of course, is very versatile. He can be laned mostly anywhere. He can jungle. He's one of the best initiators in the game. He's probably the most reliable initiator in the game, and he's definitely one of the best gankers. And honestly, the Flame Break nerf cooldown probably won't be enough. He'll still be permanently picked as well as permanently banned. As looks like the Flame Break cooldown is at 14 seconds. This does not have the news patch in mind, I don't believe. But, I don't know, maybe the game updated itself? Who knows? But anyways, Alliance are going to secure themselves a Darkseer as well as a Visage, so Liquid with some very smart bans. They're banning out two of Admiral Bulldog's signature heroes, and Alliance forced to get themselves a Darkseer as a response. Now, I have seen Alliance run Darkseer in the mid lane, which could be a possibility, especially if Liquid decide to rotate Baron into the mid lane. Although with KZZ staying in for Korok, I don't know if that is a possibility. I think so. This will likely be an offlane Barometer being played by Bulba, and I'm not too sure what role KZZ will play, as usually stands like to play support or carry. They don't usually take over important roles like offlane or mid lane. Well, not really important roles, but more risky roles like the offlane or mid lane position. But KZZ might have a little bit too much on his plate to handle, even though he's a very talented player. Liquid gonna secure themselves a Chen, so they're gonna go for some early game pushing. This will likely be played by Fluff and stuff, as his Chen is very, very powerful. Probably not as highly regarded as somebody like Ake's Chen or Puppy's Chen, but still, he is a top Chen player. And Alliance, they got themselves a Visage, not only to deny it from Team Liquid, but also they have the potential to go for an aggressive trialing themselves. But interesting decision about the Leicester. They do have the first pickup after the second ban phase ends, and Leicester, even though he has been greatly nerfed in so far as tri-lanes go, especially tri-lane versus tri-lane matchups when you are in the aggressive position. I mean, when you set up Leicester with the Visage, you can actually get in range to cast the open wounds, even with the cast range nerf. So I don't know if Alliance are going to go on the offensive with the Visage. They are one of the teams that like to go defensive with the Visage and just like to farm him up, get a medallion, and then just start progressing from there. Liquid starting to bat out some carry heroes. We're respecting Loda, gonna get rid of the Alchemist. Not too sure what else the ban Alliance got rid of the Gyrocopter. Liquid is one of those teams that likes to secure themselves a Dragon Knight or some unconventional mid heroes, whether it be the Brewmaster or the Dragon Knight. Heroes that are not usually seen in the West so much. So Dragon Knight could potentially still be an option for Liquid, as Liquid gonna get rid of the Puck. This could potentially open up a Queen of Pain pick for Alliance. And they don't really have any heroes that synergize well with Magnus. They don't have the Lone Druid to get the Empower for the Bear, or a Leicester to get the Empower for the Leicester, so he can farm as fast as possible and clear out potentially even Ancient stacks. So I don't imagine Alliance will go for their trendy Magnus pick these days. I think they're going to get more of a defined mid lane role. I'm not too sure who it'll be. They can't really afford to put a Night Stalker because, I mean, Liquid, one of the strengths of Barrow is that you can be lane mostly anywhere, and you will always have to take in consideration, otherwise you could very well be punished by a Barrow versus melee hero matchup, and that's not a matchup you want to see any day of the week. So Alliance is going to take a bit of their time as they are going to wait around, see what's going to come of the next pick. Honestly, I'm not too sure what to call. Alliance is going to get themselves a Clockwork, and as War has shown in the past, he is very capable as the mid lane Clockwork. So I've got to imagine this will be a mid lane Clockwork with an off lane Darkseid. Liquid going to secure themselves an Anti-Mage. An interesting decision to pick up a farming based carry to pair with the Chen. But this could be a very nice move by Alliance because one of the weaknesses, or one of the move by Liquid, because one of the weaknesses of Alliance is that they do need a bit of time to build up their experience. Darkseid really does not want to fight until he gets at least a level 8 or level 9, so he has max Iron Shell, has 1 or 2 points in Vacuum, because Vacuum the air levels does not have that good of a range, so really can't drag too many people back into the fray. And Alliance is going to secure themselves a Jakiro, a very obvious support choice to pair with the Darkseid, since these heroes just synergize so very well. Liquid immediately responding with the Rubik choice. Not really that many spells to steal. He could potentially steal Familiars or Vacuum. That'll all be very well and good, but Liquid probably just picked up the Rubik because they liked his versatility, and I mean, if he can steal a good spell, all the more power to him. But yeah, back to the Anti-Mage choice. I like this Anti-Mage choice a bit more than some other carries, just because Alliance do want to take a bit of time to build up. I mean, they do have some potential gankers, but once Clockwork uses Hook, how will they catch up to Anti-Mage? Right now, Alliance have all of 2 stuns. I mean, if you're not counting the Battery Assault or the Vacuum Mini Stun. And one stun has such a long cooldown that you can't really pursue Anti-Mage that aggressively. And Alliance, it's going to be difficult for Jakiro to catch up to the Anti-Mage. And keep in mind, Visage, if it is a defensive Shrine, won't be able to pick up level 6 for quite a while, and by that time Anti-Mage will have enough regeneration to sustain himself from a lot of ganks if he doesn't have the Battle Fury finished by that point. So Liquid going for a bit of an unorthodox strat, but I think it makes a lot more sense in this game. I mean, the reason why I said it's unorthodox is because you don't typically see Anti-Mage with a Chen on your side, but in this game it makes a ton of sense. And we're going to have to see who plays the Anti-Mage. Will it be KZZ or will he play a support role? As I'm not too sure what to make of it just yet. Alliance, they need a carry. I'm not too sure what they're going to go with. They could go for one of their stable carries in the form of Phantom Assassin, but all of their traditional carries have been removed from the pool. They could go for something like a Doombringer as well. Alliance have been known to run Doom from time to time, and Doom does do pretty well against Anti-Mage, although with Barrow Initiation to grab out hero like Doom, that could potentially cause Doom a lot of troubles. But I think Doom would be a solid choice for Alliance. The only problem is that in the late stage of the game, even if you are able to Doom the Anti-Mage will be tank enough that it can sustain a lot of damage and might be able to withstand the Doom duration. So I do think Alliance Doom would be a solid option, but I'm not too sure if they are going to pick it up themselves. And Liquid, what do they need? They need their offlane or mid laner. Probably a mid laner, since Barrett will probably take his talents to the jungle and just go for a jungling lane. And Alliance also have to decide if they're going to go on the offensive. Jakiro and Visage are pretty strong in a defensive tri-lane, but once you get behind, you get very far behind since Jakiro is so immobile, and Visage just really wants that experience. He does have some strong capabilities in the early stages of the game. Of course, he's probably one of the best, if not the best, aggressive tri-lane hero, but like most supports that scale well, he does greatly benefit from experience. So, I mean, Alliance, the aggressive tri-lane might be risky against like Chen, who could potentially rotate through, but look for Alliance to perhaps roam into the Radiant jungle and place some wards to try to counteract Fluff and Stuff's jungling patterns, and maybe force Fluff and Stuff to jungle offensively, and then Alliance can decide how they lane after that. Liquid got rid of the Phantom Lights. I completely forgot Phantom Lights was still in the pool. It's been a while since I've seen PL in a game, so my bad for not thinking of it. But yeah, Alliance, they have Phantom Assassin, they have Doombringer, and they have some more untraditional carries, although I can't really think of many off the top of my head. One of the problems with the Anti-Mage is that he's so mobile, and Barrett is such a strong team fighter since he can just initiate on anybody he wants, that I'm not too sure who Alliance has to go for. They have to go for a tanky carry, so maybe something like a Dragon Knight could be a strong option here if they just decide to safe lane it and farm it up, but Dragon Knight might take a little bit too long to get going. So I'm honestly not too sure what Alliance will pick up in this scenario. I think Doom and Dragon Knight are probably the best options here, but they're going to get the Naga Siren, an interesting decision, and I completely forgot about the Naga Siren, man. I'm just losing it. This heat, man. The AC broke down, and of course, when I cast, I don't have my fan on, so right now I'm just boiling inside my room, getting roasted to a crisp, and this sling is definitely not helping matters whatsoever. So, I'm just losing it in this heat. It's just not very comfortable at this stage. So, I don't know, I might have to turn on the fan, but we'll see how long I can endure. I might just go through a couple glasses of water before this cast finishes up.
5 seconds remaining.
But Alliance is going to finish up their lineup with Nagasiren. Nagasiren, of course, does synergize very well, and Nagasiren is a strong offensive trial and carry, so in retrospect, this is probably the obvious carry choice for Alliance, and I'm not too sure how Liquid will lane against it. Will they put Anti-Mage and try to dodge the offensive trial in? Will they just try to deal with it and put Chen in the offensive jungle and try to get Barretter and Liquid's mid laner as much farm as possible? It remains to be seen, but Liquid, they still need their mid laner or off laner. And who are still left in the pool? Heroes like Dragon Knight and Queen of Pain are still left in the pool. I think Queen of Pain could potentially be a solid option, but Liquid gonna secure themselves a Sand King. Wow. Definitely was not expecting this at all. So will this actually be a mid lane Rubik? It's been a while, but keep in mind in TI2, mid lane Rubik for Denny was pretty much what carried Navi to the grand finals of TI2 and almost helped them win the championship. So I'm not sure what Rubik will lane as. KZ will be playing the Sand King, so maybe he's just very used to that hero in general. But I don't know if this will be a solo mid Sand King. I guess this will be a solo mid Sand King since Alliance are going to put Clockwork mid, and Sand King with the Caustic Canal can just really annoy melee mid heroes to no end. But yeah, the heat is clearly affecting my mental processes, as I probably should have predicted the Nagasiren Jakiro pick, but I was just too busy sweltering in my room very, very uncomfortably. But Alliance, they'll definitely go for the aggressive trial, and the question is, how will Liquid respond to the aggressive trial? Will they try to dodge it? Will they put a dual lane mid with perhaps Anti-Mage and Rubik? They're probably going to put Sand King mid to match up against a Clockwork and try to get as much farm as possible. And I am a huge fan of farming Sand King. As you all know, I'm not the biggest fan of support Sand King, although players like Net just do a phenomenal job. But if support Sand King does get behind, it's very difficult for support Sand King to actually come back in the game. But meanwhile, farming Sand King, even if he dies a couple times, he will have enough farm to pick up the dagger. And adversary in the early stages of the game, even against the tanky lamp that Alliance does have, just does a ridiculous amount of damage. If you manage to get a fast dagger, you can really just single-handedly win team fights and really open up the map. So support Sand or mid lane Sand King up against a mid solo like Clockwork makes a ton of sense in this game. So look for Sand King to get 1 or 2 points in Caustic. Might not max it, might choose to max it. It really depends on the player's preference, but time to introduce the players and team. So on the side of Liquid, we're going to have TC playing the Anti-Mage, getting pulled a couple sets of tango, so yeah, they do anticipate the aggressive trial, and keep in mind Fluff and stuff will be jungling, but it seems like Alliance have other ideas in mind. They're going to go defensive with their trialing, and I don't know if this is the right move by Alliance in the end, because Nagasiren versus Anti-Mage, Nagasiren just doesn't scale as quickly as Anti-Mage, although she does get pretty fearsome later on. But I guess they want to have that guaranteed level 6 up on the Nagasiren so they can potentially set up team fights if they really to do so. My interesting is the rest of Liquid. Keep in mind Korok is currently having some apparently flight problems, which means that he wasn't able to participate in this game. So KZ is going to be staying in for Korok in lane on the Sand King. Fluff is playing the Chen, Bulba is playing the offlane Barretter, and IXMike88 is going to be playing the Rubik. Me on the side of Alliance, we're going to have Admiral Bulldog playing the Darkster, S4 is playing the mid solo Clockwork, Ake is playing the Visage, Loda is playing the Nagasiren, and Admiral Bulldog, well, I already said Admiral Bulldog, EGM is playing the Jakiro. So Alliance, it looks like they are going to go for a defensive trial in the end, and there's a couple reasons why Alliance could potentially be doing this. One reason is that Darkseer versus Barrider, I mean, yeah, Darkseer does do very well against Barrider in general, since you can just Ion Shell harass and you can just surge yourself out of any danger with the surge, but this way you will be able to restrict Barrier's farm somewhat. Of course, the good thing about Barrier is they jungle so efficiently and can pick up a really fast dagger, but I mean, in the laning phase, if Barrett does actually pick up a lot more experience and might become a bigger problem if he does get that experience online. So that could be why Alliance are going to go for the defensive trial. Another reason is maybe they feel like they don't have enough burst damage to kill TC off. Maybe they didn't feel like approaching Liquid's jungle to get the wards requisite in order to lock down Fluff and stuff, but actually are going to see a rotation by Alliance in the end, so scratch all that. I guess they just want to annoy Barrett and force him into the jungle, and may just give a free farm up to Loda, as they are going to aggressive trial with the Darkseer, not something you see every day. And I'm not too sure if this works out because the Darkseid as a hero is very reliant on experience growth. And yeah, you can handle the anti-mage for the most part, but will Darkseid be a factor in the team fights? And that's the real question for me. And of course, if you do give Darkseid a lot of experience, then where's the support's going to get experience? They're not pulling, they're just harassing Shen, and this Jakiro is just going to be level 1 for such a long time, as Ake really wants those levels online, and I don't know if they can actually kill TC without the help of Net. So, I don't know if this is the correct maneuver by Alliance, but they are known to do some weird unorthodox laning situations to really get themselves ahead in the early stages of the game, but so far I don't think this is working out, as S4 is taking a lot of damage in the middle lane. Sanking did get the second point in the Cosmic Finale, so every creep will allow Sanking to push the lane, get rune control, and overall just harass the Clockwork to no end. You can see Clockwork already forced to burn through a lot of his regeneration, and if Chen comes in with a gank, once Sanking hits level 5 or level 6, that Clockwork, even though he's pretty tanky, will inevitably die, since this Cosmic Finale will just keep him really low even if he does continuously bottle Crow. Loda 7-4, and Bowder has now realized, okay, I can go back to the top lane, get a bit more experience. We're going to see an immediate rotation by Alliance supports. This is the right move in the end, as Admiral Black was able to secure level 2, but they're really unable to stop Anti-Mage, and in the end, all this means is that Alliance's support experience growth is going to be severely limited, and yeah, I mean, IX Mike wasn't able to pick up that much experience either, but they have a Chen who can just jungle and get himself back in the game very, very easily, and can definitely pick up his experience a lot more quickly than the likes of Visage as well as Jakiro. So I think Alliance may have just overthought themselves a little bit more. I think I would have been a lot more comfortable with the Alliance actually going with aggressive trial with Nagasarn's S4 going to be in a lot of trouble, but KZ just completely out of mana, and S4 is going to bottle up. KZ just staying in one place so he doesn't get mana burned over and over by the cogs, and may have actually pushed him towards the direction of the tower, and may have actually allowed him to sustain way too much damage. But so far this mid lane is quite even, and Sanking I do think does come out in the advantage, because if you get a fast epicenter online with that dagger, you can just do so much damage in team fight. And Nagasarn ultimate, it is going to be up to delay a lot of the epicenter damage, but it won't always be up. It has such a long cooldown in the early levels that you can't really feasibly rely on it all the time. Bottom lane, TC was first to burn through pretty much all of his regeneration unless he gave back some of the tangles. Looks like he did give back some of the tangles to IX Mike, as he is just going to be lasting up, going to make his way towards that Battle Fury. And you're going to see Bulba now being driven away from the trial, but he has managed to pick up level 4, so even if his farm is not as impressive as it would be in the jungle, he has been able to climb out and ahead in terms of experience, and now it'll just go back to the jungle, start stacking creeps, and then look for him to go immediately for that dagger. But actually he's going to teleport himself back to the middle lane. Maybe perhaps setting up a gank, because Clockwork is going to go for the top rune. Will he be lucky enough to get it? He will secure the invisible rune, and that will just mitigate any presence of Barrett gank. But I'm not too sure what Bulba rotated himself, spent a TP scroll just to go to the mid lane, and then just backed off. Maybe he wanted to get to the mid lane, or to the jungle a bit faster. They want to go for a gank, but I mean, in the end, he wasn't able to get back in time to get off a stack, so I don't know if that really cost him by any means.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
KZ gonna miss the Burrow Strike, but that Burrow Strike obviously not intent for S4. S4 is gonna go in, but Sanking pretty powerful at this stage, although he's running out of mana very quickly. KZ gonna be in launch hole, doesn't have any points in the Sandstorm, and is gonna pay for it with his life. Bulba gonna come in, perhaps trying to set up a Flame Break gank, but S4 just gonna pop the invisibility rune and just gonna get the heck out of there. So a bit of an unfortunate situation for Liquid, as they did sacrifice their mid-solo Sanking, but they're gonna get a tower in exchange. And again, Sanking, I mean, he will get his dagger eventually, and if it's early enough, it's around maybe the 17-18 minute mark, it'll still do quite a bit of damage, especially with the levels being opened up by the Sanking. So I don't think Sanking really minds being first blooded, and I mean, what will Clockwork do? What will Clockwork actually get that can really put his team over the top? A faster mecha? I mean, Clockwork is a hero who doesn't really need that many items to succeed, and even if he does manage to get a lot of items, I mean, what can he actually do with it, since he just gets in your face and his spells do not scale well whatsoever. So it's not the worst first blood trade for Liquid. I'm sure they want to avoid it, but they were able to mitigate some of the losses, and it went to Clockwork in the end, which I don't think Liquid particularly minds too much. On the top lane, Bulba trying to defend the tower. The creeps are flying in. Flame Break going to be used to spread out the creeps and going to draw the aggro. Nice Flame Break positioning by Bulba, as he is going to disrupt the creep waves, but KZ did manage to secure a kill against S4 in the middle lane. I just want to see how that happened.
Radiant
As for no
structures
bottle,
are
still at
fortified.
3/5 HP. KZ at full HP as well as full mana, so S4 gonna get engaged upon very soon. Here comes the Burrow Strike. Epicenter will be immediately channeled afterwards, and Hook trying to delay that assault, but you can see Sand King just able to get the stun off. And this description is a bit deceptive. Well, I guess it's not anymore, but in Dota 1 it's like 1.75 stun duration, but keep in mind when you're impaled you do go flying up, which wasn't counted towards the Dota 1 description, but in this description it says 2.17 direction, 7-second duration. And that is going to give Sand King enough time to channel the Epicenter. As Mew on the bottom lane, Bulldog going to be on control. Will he be able to cast Surge? He will be able to cast Surge as the Test of Faith not able to do enough damage. TC likely going to chase for the kill as Bulldog is just caught up shit creek without a paddle. And we'll see if he can navigate his way through this liquid minefield as Bulldog going to cast another Surge. TC holding onto his Blink for as long as possible. Right now Bulldog, if nothing else, he is wasting a lot of Liquid's time. Going to prevent TC from picking up some last hits, but in the end TC going to be more than happy to snatch up kills. S4 going to rotate himself in, going to drive into all 4 of Liquid's heroes. What is S4 doing? I don't even know. He's just gonna try to help out Bulldog, but now he's gonna pay for it with his life as the stun's gonna come from KZ. Man, S4 usually such a smart player, but honestly, he dove in without any vision. He saw Bulldog die, and he didn't back off. He knew all the sorts of alliance are there. Is this replay bugged or something? Is it because of the new patch being implemented? I don't even know. But Alliance making some uncharacteristic mistakes, and they are paying for it with their life. Well, I guess just one major mistake, as Bulldog, I guess he was just caught out of position. Meanwhile, Loda continuing to farm up, has picked up the Ring of Basilius, and is saving up 1,500 gold. In this game, I'm not too sure what Nagasama will rush, as she is pretty squishy. She does want to get the Diffusal Blade online, but it might be more prudent for her to get actually a Radiance, because there are going to be 2 dagger heroes for sure on the side of Liquid. There's going to be a Batter as well as a Sand King, and Sand King now has pretty much all the core items he needs, besides perhaps a set of Arcane Boots. So look for him to get his dagger online in the next 10 minutes or so. So it might be more prudent for Low to actually go for Radiance, and I'm a big fan of Radiance up against Alex of Anti-Mage, because at a certain point, Anti-Mage will just start split pushing, and one of the best ways to counteract split pushing is to just push with your illusions with Radiance. I mean, sure, the Anti-Mage can just kill them off, but you will be able to do a lot of damage with the creeps, and 50 damage per second is no joke, even in the 25-minute mark or the 30-minute mark of the game. As Bulba gonna farm up some creeps, is only around 550 gold away from finishing the dagger, but we are going to see a rotation by Ake, and they are going to die for Bulba. Bulba does have the Firefly online. Does he sense his impending danger as the Alliance squad do have a ward? Bulba is going to pop the Firefly. Here comes an immediate teleport in by the Sand King. Dual Breath going to be used as KZ going to stun off EGM. Flaming Last is going to follow up. Song of the Siren will be used, but the Firefly just burning and roasting EGM to a crisp. EGM will be able to drop another Ice Path as Song of the Siren will be dispelled. Here comes the hook coming in from S4. Beautiful communication, but KZ is able to come in with 1 kill, and he has a haste rune, so Alliance not going to be able to pursue the issue. Alliance, they kill the Batrider, and they got a tower. Very much worth it, but Loda now out of mana. KZ will keep up the pursuit. The Grave Shield going to be dropped, allowing Ake to get on out of there. KZ will come in with another stun. We'll start chilling the Epicenter. Ake going to be a lot of trouble. KZ really showing his worth. That haste rune definitely helped him out quite a bit, but Sanki picked up a double kill. And in the end, again, not the best engager for Liquid, but certainly not all too bad as Sanking making his way, did pick up the Arcane Boots, and now Jakiro gonna be Lotral, gonna get himself telekinesis. Let's had a ward, but Liquid were actually smoked up, and EGM most certainly gonna die. Rubik does secure the last hit, and Alliance just not having a good early game, and it's not gonna get pretty since TC has not really been pressured whatsoever on that bottom lane. I mean, Iron Shell, yeah, it's annoying, but TC will just go for last hits, use the tower to try to tank as many Iron Shell creeps as possible, and then just use the Perseverance to try to give himself enough HP that can regen himself up to a sufficient amount of state to sustain himself in the lane.
Dire's structures are fortified.
You know, Liquid going to work on this top tower. KZ, he has his full core. Now he's going to most likely finish up the dagger. I don't imagine he's going to go for anything like a drums. I mean, the Bracer is pretty casual these days. You don't really need to get a set of drums. Meow and Lance looking to do some countering, but Liquid just don't have any wards in the vicinity. But they are going to use this opportunity to smoke up And you can see IX Mike level 4, but aside from that, Alliance are in a bit of an experience deficit. As S4 is going to spot KZ, but you know, Sanking, pretty difficult to hunt down for the most part. Is Aki going to drop the Grave Chill? KZ going to get Sentry Ward up. Can he Burrow Strike away to safety? Is holding on to it. Will Burrow Strike back towards his teammates as IX Mike will Arcane Boots up his friend. And now the pincer formation is coming in from Liquid as S4 going to get lifted back into Aki, stunning Aki in place. Low going to come in, going to do a lot of damage. Another Burrow Strike going to be dropped by Sanking, but the killing streak has been ended by Aki as Fluff and stuff going to get hook shot in. We'll get Grave Chill, and Fluff will definitely take the fall as a spiteful shockwave from the high ground going to do a bit of damage to Alliance. And meanwhile, Clockwork just mana burning these creeps, pushing them away. And Loda will be able to clean up these neutrals. Looks like he will be able to clean up at least one. An interesting build that Loda went. He went for Phase Boots into Bracer into Aquila. I don't know why he held on to those items for such a long time. Maybe he was trying to decide, alright, what are the best times that I need in this game? I mean, I am still a fan of Raids, but it looks like Loda wants to try to fight a bit more often in the early stages of the game before anti-age becomes a huge problem. And this might be the right way of it. We're going to have to see how this build fares in the mid stages of the game. Right now, it makes a bit of sense if Alliance actually go for a lot of fights at this stage and try to make up some of their deficit and really start applying the pressure towards anti-mage. But again, the problem remains, how will they catch anti-mage? That is my big issue. They're going to have to use a song, and Loda does not really have the experience necessary to just spam that Song of Siren whenever he wants to do just that. Checking out the gold graph, you can see Liquid do have a slight gold advantage. They have a pretty decent experience advantage as well. As you can see, well, both Alliance supports are all level 6, but the important heroes on side Liquid are very, very high leveled, all things considered. And these supports going to hit level 6 very soon. That means anti-mage is going to be even more difficult to gank, as Liquid going to sense that a gank is incoming for TC, as TC gonna likely finish his Battle Fury. A smart Smoker to see just playing safe rather than sorry, and it's a well-timed smoke gank because his Barra did just secure his Blink Dagger, and he might be able to spy S4, but again, Barra's vision, because of that nerf, has been severely limited, so wasn't able to spot Clockwork maneuvering himself onto the river. But yeah, that smoke gank pretty well timed, since that is usually the time that people try to go for a gig on anti-age to prevent his Battle Fury coming in, but here comes the Song of Siren, and will the Ice Path be layered in? Macropire will be dropped prematurely as Net and Ice Path will hold TC in place, and TC won't be able to blink out, but he was able to secure his Battle Fury nonetheless, as he was able to buy it. So that gank from Lens, all it does is keep anti-mage from farming for the next 30 seconds, but it doesn't actually delay his Battle Fury. King Down S4 going to come in with a hook shot, but KZ going to immediately respond with a Burrow Strike. Battery Assault doing a bit of damage to Bulba, as Riptide going to do even more, as Alliance still very healthy in terms of HP. Fluff and stuff going to be dove upon, as Loda, that Bracer, definitely healing him out, or allowing to be a lot more sustainable in these engagements. But so far, Liquid just content to retreat, not going to try to go back in. They've already spent the last of They do have the Epicenter online. KZ, unfortunately for him, does not have the dagger. And the Fluff and stuff does have the Hand God. If we're going to see a surge by Bulldog, as Jakiro could potentially be in a little bit of trouble. The Radiant Ward will spot his movement, but I don't think the side of Liquid can catch up to the Jakiro. So Alliance, they were able to kill off the Anti-Mage, all well and good. But in the end, what does that accomplish? They just kept Anti-Mage out of the game for the next 30 seconds, since Anti-Mage already bought his Battle Fury. If Alliance just went for that gank maybe 20 or 30 seconds earlier, that would have been a spectacular gank. But now, unfortunately, Dota is all about timing, and Anti-Mage now is going to become a huge problem, as he has the means to get his farm rolling very, very quickly, and his experience growth will be extremely accelerated. And you can see the Liquid support is starting to stack camps just so TC can pick up as much farm as possible. You know, Loda continue to farm up. Is that a set of drums? That is a set of drums, so that'll give Loda a bit of more mobility as well as a nice bit of mana, and of course give the drums order towards his teammates. Meanwhile, KZ going to come in with a double damage, and he recognizes that Loda just simply does not have enough mana. We're going to get Epicenter, but here comes Surge, but the range on Epicenter is surprisingly deceptive, and that is able to secure the kill on Loda. KZ going to be trapped in Battery Assault, as well as going to be hooked out, but the Vacuum just coming in a little bit too late, and Bulldog, he will Surge S4 forward, but is there going to be enough damage to kill off KZ? It doesn't look like that will be the case. Is KZ actually going to respond? He does spot the movement of Alliance, but is going to back off once he does see Jakiro arrive to the party. And all the while, Liquid's pushing ahead on the bottom lane. And Anti-Mage, is this a Tranquil Boots or is this a Vlad's? I'm not too sure. This could potentially be a Tranquil Boots back into Vlad's. Again, Treads is usually the preferred option on Anti-Mage, since he likes to Tread Switch, use the extra bit of intelligence to link around, use the extra attack speed to kill off the neutrals, and just go to work on these camps to allow him to farm a lot more quickly. But NTH gonna pick up the Ring of Messiah, so it seems like he is gonna go for Vlad's. And eventually he'll sell the Vlad's, a lot of fluff and stuff to pick it up, but that Vlad's a very, very cost-efficient item at this stage in the game. Going to increase NTH's DPS output, going to give him a bit of extra mana regeneration, and just allow him to jungle him more efficiently since he does have the lifesteal. As Meow in the middle lane, there's engagement being broken out. Bulba going to grab out EGM, and EGM going to be in a lot of trouble. He will get killed off, and Loda does have a Song of Siren, but won't be able to cast it as Aki forced to retreat. Loda's pushing ahead on the bottom lane, but so far it is a 1-for-0 engagement for the side of Liquid, and Loda will be able to kill off this tower. No, there is going to be a teleport by Liquid. They're not chasing Glyph of the tower just yet, as Loda is going to secure himself the last hit. A bit of a mistake by Liquid in the end, but I guess they didn't really want to go in with all of their heroes. As Alex Mike going to steal the net, will just trap Loda in place, and Loda going to have to escape very, very soon, although Clockwork going to rotate himself in. What a hook shot! How did he get vision? Did Nagasiren still have vision, or did he just guess? All things considered, a remarkable hook by S4. But all the while, Liquid are applying their pressure. They have 2 troll summoners, and they have a lot of skeletons going to work. And these skeletons absorb tower shots, and they also do a respectable amount of damage to towers, considering their small HP pool. KZ gonna get Grave Shield up, but should be able to escape. S4 does not yet have his hookshot back online. KZ getting very close to his dagger, and at that point, it's gonna be very difficult for Alliance to take team fights when their Song of Siren is down, or if Nagasiren is not in position. You know, TC gonna finish up the Vlad. So right now I do feel like Liquid is ahead, but Alliance, they have some very, very strong team fight. The main problem for Alliance is, like I've been mentioning, is how can they keep Anti-Mage locked down in place. Yeah, they killed off Anti-Mage, but they had to expend a Song of Siren and a couple of ultimates in order to do just that. And Anti-Mage is going to become more and more tanky as this game goes on. He went for a more stats heavy build, but he's going to get enough levels because of his accelerated farm that he can survive a lot of ganks, and eventually he will work his way up to items like a butterfly or a heart that allow him to sustain himself in so many future battles. And unfortunately for Lance, they don't really have any natural Hex carriers outside of Darkseer. They don't have any natural Orchid carriers. And, I mean, Clockwork, he can hook in and it's done. That's pretty much all he can do. How will Alliance actually initiate onto the Blink Dagger heroes of Liquid unless they manage to catch Liquid by surprise, which is really just not a reliable option for a lot of professional teams. You can't rely on the other team making a mistake in order to secure yourself a victory. So that's what I'm fearful for Alliance. But the good thing for Alliance is that they have the mechanism finished. Darkseer is getting a reasonable amount of farm, has that point to wall, and their supports are decently leveled as well, as Jakiro is level 7, has those familiars online. They have the medallion up, so if they manage to find an opening, they can go for Roshan. And all things considered, Alliance are in a bit of a deficit, but they definitely can come back, especially if they do find a way to somehow lock down the Anti-Mage. But Smoke ain't gonna come in, S4 gonna be in for a rude awakening, as he is just praying that this is a nightmare. But sorry, my friend, you're not gonna wake up for the next 40 seconds because you'd be dead, son. Man, Barra is such a badass. Fucking love that hero. So TC getting another item ship towards him. That is going to be the finished treads, as now Bulldog could potentially be in bit trouble. There are 2 nets, so Bulldog definitely going to die, as Micro by Fluff and stuff absolutely phenomenal. And the mechanism going to heal up to TC, so he can push down this bomb tower very easily. And Bulldog going to be out of the picture for the next 35 seconds or so, going to delay his 4 staff. And of course, giving that kill to an edge match and giving up your Ancients, definitely not a good thing either, as TC is starting to become a very big problem, and I don't see this problem going away anytime soon. So it might come to the point that Alliance just have to bulldoze their way down one of these lanes and try to force a team fight, a 5v5 team fight, but Anti-H doesn't really care. I mean, he doesn't really want to fight unless the team fight is breaking out his base, because he can just farm a lot more efficiently and just kill off these neutrals and just split push. And Alliance, they just simply don't have the tower advantage that they can force Anti-H to retreat.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
KZ has finished his dagger, and he's also level 13, so this epicenter, it hurts, and it hurts a lot. And there's only a mechanism on the side of Alliance. No pipe in the works just yet, although Bulldog could potentially go for that pipe of insight. Still, that is going to be a long ways away, and epicenter will still remain relevant until that pipe has been picked up, as yes, Alliance are pretty tanky, but still, you don't want to take too much damage from epicenter. as Darkseer. What did he steal? Just Iron Shell. A decent spell to steal, all things considered. And TC just getting his farm rolling and rolling, has now surpassed the 500 GPM mark. And there's really nothing Alliance can do to stop him. So Alliance, they really have to force a fight, but forcing a fight into double initiation is very, very difficult when your only initiation is a Clockwork Hook-In or a Naga Siren Sleep. And that just relies on the other team being out of position. And yes, to a certain degree, Sand King and Barret rely on the other team to be out of position, but I mean, they have daggers. They can position themselves a lot more ably, as S4 gonna find the rocket. Will be able to hookshot IX Mike, but IX Mike gonna get forced staffed away to safety. S4 will keep up the pursuit, and it seems like Alliance very keen on bringing down this middle tower, trying to get some map control. But NTH was able to kill off the tier 1 top. As response to this epicenter, gonna be used by KZZ. Dropped a beautiful epicenter as Sleep gonna be used to cover Alliance's retreat. As Ake still at around half HP. Bulldog gonna drop the vacuum. Will drop the wall as well. Here comes Bulba, gonna grab off Bulldog as Visage was able to kill Sand King. Sand King actually bobbed back as the teamfight is breaking out. TC now in the midst of everything, gonna kill off Clockwork. He's gonna try to hunt down EGM. EGM will get mana voided as TC still has his ultimate online, and Alliance just simply did not have what it took to bring down that middle tier 1 tower. Even though Sand King did buyback, I don't know if that buyback was completely necessary. Still, Liquid have just taken a huge lead at this stage, and they're gonna immediately rotate themselves in for Roshan, as, I mean, Chen still survived. He has the creep army, and this Roshan will be very quick to fall at this rate. Another thing I forgot to mention about Alliance is that they have 3 melee heroes, so inevitably they will clump, and that just means Sand King's life is made a whole lot easier from channeling that epicenter, since he just thrives in situations where a team does clump up. So TC gonna secure himself the Aegis, is very close to finishing the Manta. And I don't know, it might be Alliance to just... I know I said they should push in, but they just tried it didn't work. It might be time for them to turtle, and turtling gets likes of Antimation Barret is very, very scary, but I don't really see many options that Alliance can actually win a 5v5 engagement at this stage in the game. And the goal graph, absolutely mountainous in favor of Liquid. The experience graph favoring Liquid by a tremendous degree as well. And this is a very poignant lesson to everybody. I know this is an unconventional sort of speech that I'm about to go on, but this just illustrates the importance of lanes. Because if Alliance had a bit better lanes, they would have been able to restrict TC a little bit more. But TC was able to finish a 17-minute Battle Fury Vlad's, which is absolutely ridiculous. And now he's just going out of control. If Alliance laned their picks a little bit better, then maybe TC wouldn't have been able to pick up such a fast odds. They would have had to sacrifice the top lane as a result, and would have been able to maybe get Barret or faster dagger. But still, that is risk you're going to have to take, especially when you don't have any ways to lock down the animations. There will be an engagement up on the middle lane. S4 did find Sand King, and Sand King will drop very, very soon. Gonna get one burrow strike off. Chen did die, and that means Hand of God is gonna be down. And that means Alliance will start going to work on this team fight, and that just also underlines the importance of Chen. As here comes the net on TC, he can't blink out of it. As Lasso will come in, lassoing S4 to safety. As TC taking so much damage, can you blink out to safety? The Aegis will expire, but here comes KZ with a huge epicenter. The Flamer gonna help clean up the kills as KZ medallion up. TC gonna respawn, and he is back with a vengeance. Gonna get ice pathed up, but napalm stacks are starting to go through. EGM just going to try to cover his allies' retreat, but Antimage knows that that is just absolutely fruitless, as Liquid is starting to clean up shop. They got a full team wipe at the cost of 2 supports. Keep in mind, they fought that entire engagement without the Hand of God or the Mecha, and all they lost was a Chen and a Rubik. And this just shows you, man, teams should just farm up a Sand King, since he just does so much in a team fight. But, I mean, you can't really blame teams like Orange when Net is such a superb Sand King player. Oh my god. I don't know if you've seen Orange games with Net on Sand King, but his Sand King is absolutely ridiculous as a support role. But still, farming Sand King still has its place in Dota, as Alliance can initiate with the Song of Siren. And will they be able to get layered disables, as here comes the engage, and the Hand of God will be used, but Sand King gonna pop the haste room, Barret gonna Firefly on out of there, S4 not predicting the angle. And that means that is going to be a waste of Song of Siren for Loda. Very, very unfortunate for this Naga Siren, as this ultimate will be on cooldown for the next 2 minutes, and that means DC is just going to be able to farm unencumbered for the next 2 minutes. Not too sure what TC will go for now. we'll still need to max out Spell Shield. Look for him to max out very, very soon. He's already level 18. I mean, look at these levels. They are absolutely phenomenal for Liquid, as the heroes on the side of Dire are really struggling. But yeah, TC has a lot of options. He can go for the butterfly. Right click damage is a bit annoying, but who's really going to do the right click? It's going to be Naga Siren. So I think the appropriate choice for TC is just going to be the straight up heart. Since a lot of the Alliance's damage, I mean, you saw Visage go and work with the Soul, so you saw the Ice Path and Vacuum and Iron Shell still go work. And yeah, Anti-Mage still has to max out the Spell Shield, but he wants to have a bit of the buffer zone ready with that Vit booster at the very least. So look for him to secure the Heart of Trask. On the side of Liquid, Force Staff was secured by Fluff. That pushed Axmech to safety. Force Staff was actually secured by Axmech as well. Veil was just finished by Zanking. Such a strong item on Zanking is that amplifies the effects of Epicenter and completely negates the presence of a mech or even a pipe in certain scenarios. Barretter finished the Force Staff. Gonna go for the BKB. I think on the courier, BKB recipe being pictured by Bulba, and that means Liquid. The only thing that can stop Barretter is going to be the net or the song, and those are needed to lock the animation in place as well. Ake, on the other hand, only has a point booster EGM, only with an urn as well as a pair of arcane boots. As for really just not too much anything, trying to save for the Aghanims, but that is going to be very far away. Darkseer, Force Staff, that's pretty much it. Level 13 has second point to wall, which is going to be very useful, but again, Liquid's line pretty mobile. You saw their mobility as S4 going to get initiated on the top lane. And you can see TC coming in on the map as if the sail is perfectly chained by the Squad of Liquid, as TC going to clean up the kill with the Mana Void. And Mana Void, 70-second cooldown, can just use it whenever you want. And Barretter, level 15, Lasso with a similar cooldown as well. Yeah, Loda went for a mid-game build, and you can see he is paying the price as a result. And I don't know if Radiance would have been able to keep Alliance in the game. I mean, they wouldn't have been able to restrict Liquid's farm. I think Alliance just wanted to fight and try to pressure TC so that he couldn't actually farm up, but unfortunately they were unable to do that. So I can't really comment if this build by Loda was the reason why they lost, but it's not going to help him in the next couple minutes since this is a very mid-game oriented build. And right now it's reaching the stage that's starting to approach the late game, and Loda is just simply not going to have enough damage, as TC is going to go for the heart and is going to clean up another tower as well, and that heart will be finished in about 500 gold, which is just a couple pennies in the bank for the anti-mage. Actually, he's going to finish it right now. Well, in 100 gold at this rate. The experience graph, Alliance. Man, if they saw this, they wouldn't be very comfortable, as this is... I've never really seen a team come back from over a 25k deficit in terms of experience. And yeah, teamfight lineups can sort of be very difficult to break into the base, especially against heroes like Darkseer, Naga, Clock, Jakiro. There's so many ways to zone out people from pushing into the base. Still, Liquid has such an advantage that they'd have to throw the game to give this game away. I mean, the gold and experience advantage are just absolutely monumental. And I know that's not really the best word to fit that situation, but it's the word that I think appropriately describes Alliance's predicament, as they are severely behind, to say the least. But Liquid just playing it patient. They know Anti-Mage still has to finish 2 more item slots. Vlad's in TP as Fluff. Gonna probably try to finish his Vlad's. Actually gonna pick up the point booster, so... I mean, eventually TC will sell the Vlad's. Maybe pick up an item like Butterfly or... Basher. But, I mean, Liquid, they don't really feel the need to push in. They know it's annoying to push into Alliance's base against the likes of Darkseer, Jakiro, Naga, Clockwork, who thrive in choke point scenarios. So they're just going to wait for the next Roshan and then try to win at that stage, because I don't imagine they want to go into the super late stages of the game when they have such a huge advantage at this stage. So they're going to wait for another 3 minutes or so, then go for Roshan, and then probably look to end the game at that point. And Alliance, you can see their vision of the map, just because Liquid has so many strong initiators, it's really been restricted. Alliance only have 1 ward on the map, and I don't know if Liquid have secured themselves a gem. I don't know if they need a gem. And it just seems like they're very content on warding up, as they're just sticking together, as Anti-Mage is farming completely by himself. And I think Liquid realized that at this stage, even if Alliance do fight 5v4, it's might actually favor Liquid in the end, since Sanking just outputs so much damage by himself. Sentry is just going to farm up, and if that's the case, then why do you really need to get Sentry wards? They're just going to farm up their supports a bit more heavily, allow them to be a lot more farmed. So you can see Fluff going to make his way towards the Aghanims, and I expect definitely appreciating this level of farm, as he has secured himself a 4-step as well as an urn, and has 800 gold in the bank on top of that. But yeah, Alliance's movement has been severely restricted because they know Liquid have likely ward up all areas in the map, and you can see Liquid actually blocking off this neutral camp because, I mean, TC can farm, but you don't want to give Alliance any room to breathe. Alliance are only being restricted to lanes. That's it. Liquid are farming the jungle, they're farming the Ancients, they're farming the lanes. They're coming out miles ahead in the farm more. And they're even farming their own jungle. Bulbous is going to be more than happy to do just that. And he's going to have his BKB finished in about 30 gold. Actually, it's going to be finished right now. Roshan going to respawn relatively soon, and Liquid just been able to keep their advantage and actually expand upon it, which is difficult to do when you're so far ahead, but Liquid did just perfect map movement at this stage, has made the bootcamp mates communication, and KZ just seems to be fitting in very, very well in this game at the very least. And Chase deciding to go for Basher. I mean, doesn't really need a butterfly. I mean, the only person on the side of Alliance that does physical damage is Naga, and I guess the Dark Solutions. You already have Heart. Lowe's finished the Diffusal Blade. That's pretty cool. You can purge people. Okay. You can mana burn people. Okay. You're still gonna die in like 5 hits. But honestly, there's not too much Lowe can do about it. So Liquid just applying the stranglehold on Alliance, and there's really nothing Alliance can do. Look at the ward coverage by Liquid. This seems a bit excessive, as they have 3 wards all in very close proximity. Just making sure Alliance never leave their base, and Alliance is like, alright, we hear you. We're not going to leave our base. And yes, Alliance strong in the team fight, but now Liquid have just secured enough items that they can surpass Alliance's advantage in the team fight. Loda going to find himself last out. He is going to die, as Loda tried to leave the base. And Liquid shows you what happens when you leave the base. It's like that picture. TC no, Barrett no. It's slaughtering time for the Naga Siren. She is not going to be happy for the next 40 seconds or so. And Alliance, Naga does have enough for buyback. They're going to have to contest this because they know if they get the Aegis, they have no shot in hell of contesting it. Liquid just going to back out for now. Why risk when you can just get yourself into a better position, perhaps catch the side of Alliance off guard. Barretter is level 16, so he has that shorter cooldown of Lasso, so Liquid might be able to go back in on the offensive very, very soon. And Liquid, they do see the movements of Alliance. They have a ward here, they have a bunch of sentries, and Alliance is going to try to plant their own wards. And they're going to try to sneak the Roshan. I mean, what other options do they have? They have a lot of minus stuff. They have Medallion as well as Riptide, but Liquid knows that this is Alliance's best shot to get themselves back in the game. And Familiars will give them a bit of warning, and actually Alliance are bringing down the Roshan with surprising speed. Will Liquid actually be able to react to this? This could be a potentially big blunder by Liquid, as they're going to give an Aegis essentially for free at this rate, as the Roshan is falling very, very quickly, but here comes the approach by Liquid. The Aegis likely to fall. Nagasine, will she pop the sleep in order to kill off the Roshan? Here comes Hook. Epicenter going to be challenged, but Casey's going to be stunned in place. Look at the AoE of Epicenter. It is combined with the Veil, as Ice Path going to use. Here comes the Macropire. Will the Vacuum Wall be used as well? Here comes the Wall. Where's the Vacuum? That's my real question. I expect taking so much damage, but Anti-Mage just way too far. Visage actually killed off Rubik, but Ake going to get slaughtered shortly after. S4 in a lot of trouble. As where is Loda? That is my main question. He has the Aegis, but gonna get stunned, gonna get chased down by Casey. Here comes Bulba, and this Aegis gonna die as quickly as it was acquired by Loda. I think this is gonna be GG for Alliance. They got a pretty good team fight. They got all their outfits down. I don't know if the vacuum is necessarily in place, but TC just picked up an ultra kill, and the only person that Alliance were able to kill off themselves with an Aegis was IX Mike. So honestly, I can't see Alliance coming back. There's now almost 20k advantage, almost 35k experience advantage. Absolutely ridiculous Liquid play. As again, if you don't do well in your lanes, if you don't have a strong mid-game lineup, or if you're facing a very, very fast scaling hero like an Anti-Mage, you will get punished. So this just underlies the importance of lanes as well as drafts. And Liquid, I think, just had the edge in both departments in this game.
Dire's middle barracks are under attack.
Maybe not so much the drafts. I guess the main problem with draft with the Alliance is that their heroes need a bit too much experience and they didn't have too many ways locked on the anti-mage. My biggest problem with Alliance's play was the lanes were just didn't make any sense. At least it's Barry gonna blink in, force staffing away Bulldog. And here comes KZ back into play. A single Veil ultimate gonna kill off a Jakiro at full HP. Sanking ultimate, ladies and gentlemen. It does a lot of damage. And as we're gonna be the next one to fall, this should be GG for Alliance. So Liquid just taking game one in a very convincing fashion as they had the advantage from minute one. Aside from the first fall that KZ gave up. So Loda gonna sing a song to send Liquid into game two, but we'll have to see if Alliance can recover. Meanwhile, Liquid not missing a beat since Korok wasn't able to make the flight. So KZ played very, very well in that game one victory. We'll see if Alliance can recover in game two. But thanks for watching, everybody, and I'll see you with game two very, very soon. Peace out, guys.